They handle supplies and perform combat support. They can restock other units' ammunitions, treat the wounded, even repair tanks on site. They can place sandbags for cover, disarm mines, repair towers, you name it. Their actual combat skills are very low. Think of them as combat facilitators. Lastly, we have the snipers. They can shoot down targets from a considerable distance. You won't find better soldiers for marksmanship and range. They can hit targets I can barely see. Sniping rifles also come with scopes that work to augment a sniper's natural eyesight. Drawbacks include low mobility and defense. If the enemy gets them alone, they're done for. That should cover the basics. Go ahead and put a squad together now.
Okay, so I'm not going to take as much time with this as I normally would if I were playing a serious game that I was going to save. And actually, I'm further than this point in my current playthrough anyway. But just for the purposes of kind of getting us through this, I'm just going to take a few of each of these types of units. But the thing I want to kind of point out is that you'll see like each unit has these different P indicators next to them, and what the P stands for is potentials. And what those are is basically like pluses and minuses that are specific to that type of unit. So you'll see if I go into info mode here, I can actually see what each of these potentials actually is. So you have this like child of nature thing where it's like paved roads feel strange and cold, leading to discomfort and lowered defense. So literally, if you place this unit on a paved road, their defense goes down. Uh, and then you've got the bonuses that they get from being in proximity to other types of units, that sort of thing. Uh, you can read these for yourself, but basically, when you're selecting what units you want to have in your squad, you generally speaking want to look at these potentials and just make sure you understand how they might affect the unit that you're taking. Um, and actually, I can tell you, having just played through this the other day, the choices available to me seem to have been somewhat randomized. So it seems like every time you do a playthrough, characters may end up in different roles than you're used to seeing them, and so it looks like these get randomly seeded each time you start a new game. So people who end up in one category or who are available in one place or another may not necessarily be in subsequent playthroughs. It seems like a lot of this stuff is maybe recycled to a degree. Like some of these, I can't find a specific example of it right now, but it seems like some of these guys may have been under different categories or different types of units in a previous playthrough. But I'm not 100% sure on that. I know the units that are available here in this initial draw are definitely slightly different, but it seems like certain characteristics and certain things about their potentials and stuff are kind of set. So it's like if you see the same person on a subsequent playthrough, they might have the same potentials as they did in a previous time. Um, and I think that is the case because I know like they have some specific audio that's recorded for some of these characters in terms of how they respond to certain situations, and I'd imagine that they want to keep that stuff locked down to a certain extent. So actually, some of the people that I had last time in the scout class actually aren't available in this initial draw. So I'm just going to grab a couple people that I recognize.
I'm Hermes Kissinger. With me here, your squad will get twice the girls.
I can't help but be amused by that. Alright, so
Please, call me Wavy.
let's
From
see.
today onward, we fight together.
There's 5 different classes, and I need 20 guys. to fill this out, or I need 15 more. So let's try and take like 3 or 4 from each class, and that should do the trick. Welkin and Alicia are already scouts though, so I don't need any more scouts, I don't think. Let's go ahead and start taking some shock troopers. This guy's pretty good.
Hi, I'm Alex Raymond. I look forward to serving with you, Welkin.
I like the gung-ho attitude.
Hello, I'm Kevin. Kevin Abbott?
Nice haircut. Just saying. This guy's alright.
Name's Kobe Caird, boyo. Looks to me like we're gonna see a lot of each other.
Alrighty then. Let's see. This guy's... no, this isn't the guy I thought he was.
Salinger, reporting for duty, sir.
He looks similar to another guy, but it's not the same. So it's 3. Let's go ahead and... yeah, take you.
The name's Jane Turner. I'll do anything if it means putting holes in imps.
Also, I sound like Stan's sister from South Park. Let's see. So I need 10 more. Let's get some Lancers in the mix. Let's take the Shades.
The name's Walter Nash, buddy. Pleasure to be working with you.
And let's see. Sure, take you.
My name is Rosina Selden. I'm in with you guys as of today.
And let's see. Yeah, we'll take you.
Hi, my name's Elise Moore. Nice to meet you.
Oh my god, I've got a rocket launcher. Alright, take this NG.
My name's Carl Lanzett, sir. It's a pleasure to join you.
Okay, need 6 more units, so let's do a couple
Hello,
more
sir.
of these.
My name is Nadine. I'm sure I'll be coming to you for help.
Cool. That's terrifying. Let's go ahead and take both of these snipers.
My name is Cesare Regard, and I'll handle things my own way, thank you.
Marina Wolfston, at your command.
That's more like it. Let's see, and then take this NG.
Hello, I'm Claudia Mann. I'll do my best to live up to your expectations.
That's what I like. Unbridled enthusiasm for my orders. Okay, so let's see. Let's go ahead and grab a couple more scouts, I guess.
I'm Frasier York, handsome. I know you'll take real good care of me.
Yes, I will. Alright, you know what? Actually, let's grab one more shock trooper. It never hurts to have a few extra shock troopers.
I'm Edie Nelson. Perhaps you've heard of me. I'm sure we'll get along swimmingly.
I'm so bubbly. Some of the VO is a little bit, like, weirdly on the nose when it comes to, like,
Well,
stereotypes.
feel like you've struck a balance? Come back anytime you'd like to adjust your squad.
I'm sure
As
I
time
will.
passes, we'll have more recruits to choose from, so keep an eye on that list.
Yeah, there were definitely some guys I was expecting to see on that list that weren't there. Some guys who end up being pretty, like,
Oh, and
noteworthy.
all recruits go through training together, so they're all ready for combat. They'll be at the same level as the rest of the team you've taken into the field. You can swap out members without the worry of losing the benefit of their experience.
So that's kind of the good thing about them being trained by class, is because, like, you know, none of the XP is spent on an individual soldier. Like, if you've, you know, like she says, if you've been improving your snipers, but then all of a sudden you bring in a new sniper, they're going to come in at that higher level.
Trust in your own judgment and pick a team you know you can work well with. That should be enough to get you started. You can figure out the rest as you go.
I find your confidence terrifying.
Wow. Squad leader's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, it is.
Come to think of it, Valdio's heading up Squad 1, isn't he? I wonder if he's off sorting through this stuff now, too. I'd better get a move on.
Yarp. Alright, so we've got our squad. Let's blow through training real quick. Let's just spend some of that XP we got from those initial missions. I'm going to skip this guy's shtick because it's a little uninteresting. And I've basically told you what you need to know already, which is basically you're training your guys by class and not as individuals. So here I can, I should have enough XP to actually take everybody up a level. So that's probably what I'll do here. And then we'll decide, you know, what particular class we want to boost beyond that.
Fight the bullet! No pain, no gain!
Woot woot! Alright.
Good work, maggots! You're one level closer to human. Looks like that session beat a new potential out of the Lancers.
So now that means all the guys I have under the Lancer category should have another potential unlocked, which
like that session
could be
beat a
good
new
or bad,
potential out of the snipers.
Depending on what they already have. Okay, so let's see. I've got a little bit of XP left, but not too much. I'm not even going to worry about trying to spend any of what I have left. Let's just go ahead and move on for now.
Got it? Oh, and there's one more thing to add. Sometimes leveling up a unit class will unlock a hidden potential.
Yeah, we already kind of got that.
Here.
Okay, so we got a an order is what they call these, which is basically like when you're on the command screen, like the overall map, like deciding which unit you want to move. One of the things you can spend your command points on instead of moving a unit is giving them one of these orders, which, you know, will in turn boost their effectiveness for that round or for that battle or what have you. So let's go ahead and move on. And again, in the realm of like slightly annoying VO, like the R&D facility guy is similarly kind of annoying.
Welcome to R&D, man. What can I do you for?
Because...
Wait, I know that insignia. You're Lieutenant Gunther, aren't you? I knew it! Man, I've heard about you. That evacuation at Brule was just... wow! Protecting a tiny life in the middle of all that slaughter? Man! Oh, Lieutenant, you're good people. You get all my respect and then some, bro.
I'm not your bro, buddy. I'm not your buddy,
What's going
bro.
on, Leon? I could hear you from clear.
Oh, Casey, check it out. It's Lieutenant Gunther. He's the man, man.
Yeah, this guy is slightly less annoying, but it kind of gets like overshadowed by Dude Bro.
Oh, and I'm Leon Schmidt, but just call me Leon, bro. I'm your boy.
It's like kind of funny in a way, but after you've seen it, especially after you've seen it a couple times, you're like, okay, dude, just let me get to upgrading stuff. Give me a break already. I'm actually gonna just power through this and get to the actual menus so you guys can see how this works, because that's really the important part. That flavor dialogue is pretty forgettable, to be honest. Okay, so you can do weapon or tank upgrades. So as far as the weapons go, you know, you have your rifles, which your scouts use, machine guns, which the shock troopers use, anti-tanks for your lancers, sniper rifles, hand grenades. I think most units can use those. And then uniforms and blast suits. is like bullet damage and explosive damage, I believe is how that works out. And you can see here we actually can access the tank stuff from here, even though there was like a separate menu for that. This is actually for like doing the upgrades themselves. So one thing I like to do is look at making the scouts and the shock troopers more effective right out the gate. So like let's go ahead and do this accuracy upgrade on the scout rifles, and you can see down below the effect that's going to have for doing this. Let's go ahead and do that.
All done.
And that will automatically apply to all scouts and all of their rifles, so you don't need to, say, reassign or buy weapons for all of your scouts again. They're just automatically going to get that upgrade, which is nice. And then let's go ahead and boost the shock troopers damage too on their machine guns.
Here you go, bro.
Alright. As far as the Lancer and the Sniper, yeah, let's go ahead and boost the Lancer. Why not? Since we can.
Whew, it's done.
Alright. And I think that's pretty much all we can do at this point. Okay, so we can do the uniform upgrades, which makes your defense go up, which is good. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. And then this is the armor upgrade for the Lancer or anybody else who's wearing like explosive armor clothing. Yeah, let's go ahead and get these out of the way so we don't have to worry about doing them later. Okay, then it's back to rifles. So then down here is the stuff for the Edelweiss, the tank, and that's where we can get into enhancements for the body. And you can see, like, you know, some of these are pretty significant, like, you know, gaining 200 range on the main gun. It's pretty significant. So like that might be something we want to grab right away.
All set for you.
And let's see, reinforced armor, you know, plus 30 body defense. Definitely not bad, especially for what it costs. Let's go ahead and grab that. And let's see. So this will improve our weak spot, which isn't really a big deal in these initial missions. But let's go ahead and actually we're running short on cash. Yeah, we don't have enough to do any of these, which is why we're getting the warning signs on them now. But that's probably enough upgrading for the time being. You can see how this works. You just basically go through all these menus and you'll find everything that there is to do as far as upgrading goes. And then here's like the overall like stats on the tank based on the current upgrades available and such. All pretty straightforward stuff, really. And yeah, you just want to come back here periodically as you get more money and XP and stuff, and either like enhance the soldiers through the training field with your XP, or enhance your weaponry and tank and stuff through the R&D facility with the money that you get. So I think that pretty much covers this section. Actually, after we do this next mission, there'll be a couple other areas that unlock, but they're not particularly relevant in general, at least in the early game. Like there's the cemetery that you can go to, and there'll be like a guy there you can talk to who will teach you new orders for like a big chunk of your XP. And then there's like an area where you go to talk to this reporter who's covering your exploits on the battlefield, and like there's stuff you can do with her that's kind of like side story, or like fleshes out like certain things that are happening in the storyline. And then there's another option too here that I can't remember off the top of my head what it is, But once that stuff unlocks, you basically will have everything that you can do here at the base, like within the next mission or two of the game. But let's go ahead and jump back out to book mode, and I'll just show you whenever you're on this screen. Loading, 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 loading. Oh, come on now. Don't be a hater. What are you doing, game? Oh no, it didn't just crash on me, did it? That's going to be really disappointing. That's my first crash. Lame. Lame! Let me see if I can relaunch it real quick. I might have a save that I can load from that point.
Sega.
Okay. I just want to make sure the stream recovered from that okay. Sometimes it can be kind of weird about stuff like that. Looking promising. Okay, good. Alright, looks like the video's in good shape. So actually, let me just load up one of my saved games, because I think I have a save that's pretty much from that point that it just crapped out at. Yeah, so here's my Chapter 3 save. So I think I've already done the cutscenes and stuff for this. I think this may have been right before we get into the battle.
Welks. There you are. I've been looking for you.
Hey, Ace. How'd your enlistment go? No problems?
I registered as a tank pilot and mechanic. Maintaining and operating the Edelweiss will be my responsibility from now on. I think it's nice that we'll all be on the same squad together. I think so too.
So what are you up to now?
The tank's hangar space is just through here. I was just carrying some Ragnite fuel back. It's used to power the tank, and also for the turret-mounted cannon rounds.
I guess I'm just more used to seeing it in street lamps and medical compounds.
Seems like everything is Ragnite-powered these days. That stuff is everywhere. Not enough of it for some people, though. It's the source of a lot of conflict.
They say the Empire's invading only to get at all the Ragnite in Gallian soil.
Oh, that's right. I had something to give you, Welks.
What's this?
Father's flare gun. It was in the barn, but I thought you might have some use for it.
Another hand-me-down.
I gave it a once-over. It might be old, but it's still serviceable.
I didn't mean... I just can't believe I'm a tank operator now. Thank you for this, Ace.
I'll do a spot check on the Edelweiss now, to make sure it's ready to go at any time. All right, we'll get going for now then.
Okay, so I think actually we just skipped a couple of dialogue sequences, I think. I think we're still going to be on the battle that I was planning to show, so I think we're in good shape.
I'll cut to the chase. Here's your mission. The Great Vassal Bridge was just taken by the Empire. It's a key strategic position.
The Great Vassal Bridge?
It's a major drawbridge crossing the canal in Vassal, just outside the capital.
That bridge is a part of the central transit artery, leading into Randgreaves. Our mission is to take it back. The Empire has been running a blitz, with their shock troops outrunning their defense. Our 3rd Regiment will retake the bridge before defensive reinforcements can arrive.
How quaint. The militia holding a little strategy meeting of its own. How long were you planning on hiding out in here, Verrot?
Whatever, Weeble. Go Weeble your way out of the door again.
My apologies, sir. We'll depart soon.
Whatever. They're just country mice. It's not like they'll be much help.
More help, perhaps, than your army unit that couldn't hold the bridge in the first place.
Oh, burn! Sick burn.
Hey!
Regardless, Vassal remains a critical position. We'll reclaim it immediately.
Well, good. See that you do.
Who was that?
A douche. Oh, wait.
General Damon,
Oh,
commander
yeah,
of the
that's right.
Central Forces.
Central Forces? That's the army branch the militia was folded into, right?
That's right. They say the general's an aristocrat. He looks down on the common militia.
That doesn't make any sense.
I know, right? Like, even in the face of, like, horrifying, like, imperial takeover, there's still, like,
Right.
turmoil.
Now that the war's begun, we all need to band together and fight to keep Gallia safe.
Word, dude. Testify.
Who cares at this point whether you're in the army or the militia? It's ridiculous.
Preach on.
Gentlemen, let's return to the mission.
Oh, right. She's still here.
We'll begin by taking back the western bank to gain a foothold for reclaiming the bridge. Lieutenant Gunther, I'm assigning Squad 7 to this mission. It's your first maneuver, so be smart.
Okay.
Yes, Captain.
The other squads are on patrol. I'm counting on all of you out there. Now move out.
I was so excited to play, I almost cut her off. Alright, let's do this thing. So the composition of my squad will be slightly different because I loaded this save game, but that's cool. I'll try to use at least some of the same units.
Here are details on the current operation.
So the big difference here between this mission and the ones we played previously is we'll actually get to position our units this time. So we have these 2 different deployment sites, and we actually get to say who goes where. And it'll be like that from this point forward in the game, which is kind of the other reason I wanted to show this mission, because this is really more like how most of the missions in the game are. You know, those initial tutorial missions, they kind of simplify things a little bit. Okay, so, oh, and we also get to occupy an enemy base, which is another, like, common motif in most of the campaign missions. So I feel like this will be a good thing to show. Alright, so let's go ahead and deploy some guys. So you'll notice that this Largo character is already deployed here. So he's like a required character for this mission. So actually, let me find him. Yeah, here he is. So he's actually the guy here, you know, on the map already. So we don't have to deploy him. He's already going to be in that spot. We just have to decide who's going to go with him. So how I generally like to configure this particular mission is I like to send Alicia. Well, Alicia and Welks are already together on the shore side, but I like to have a scout up here. So let's go ahead and put a scout over here, and then we'll send a shock trooper on this side. We'll have a sniper hang out in the base. I think she should be okay. We'll put her here, and then we'll have another Lancer just in case things go poorly with Largo, because we don't want him to be our only guy who can kill a tank. And that should be good for defensive purposes here. And then we just need to get a pick a unit for down here, because we've already got Welkin and Rosie and Alicia are here by default, so we just need to pick another unit to flush this side out. And let's go ahead and, since we've got the tank here on this side, let's just go ahead and take another shock trooper. I think that'll probably be the most useful thing to have down here. And let's go ahead and roll with that.
We're prepared to commence the operation. I look forward to good news from you.
Split into 2 teams, offensive and defensive. Squad 7, move out.
Look at him now.
All right, it's our first mission. Let's split into 2 teams, City and Riverside. I'll lead the Riverside team towards the enemy encampment with the Edelweiss.
Shock Trooper here. Leave the offense to me.
City team, your job is to guard the base. Be ready for anything, including tanks.
How long you think I've been an anti-tank man? Couple of tanks ain't no sweat.
That's the spirit, Largo. Now, let's move out!
Listen closely. This information could save your life.
Okay, so yeah, they talk about occupying camps. Basically, you just gotta roll an infantry man up to the enemy camp's flag and then interact with it to flip it. So that's pretty straightforward. So in this scenario, what I want to do for sure is take advantage of the tank as much as possible. So let's go ahead and move him up.
Here we go!
Take our first turn here and do that. So if I'm careful, I can do this without destroying my guy's cover. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and keep moving these guys up. Alright, so we got 2 guys here behind cover. So what I'm going to do is, this is a good opportunity to use the mortar, which I'm going to switch to now, which lets you basically target an area. So I can basically just drop that right in between these guys and take out their cover and damage both of them and kind of knock them out. So you can see how effective that is. I believe they are both dead. Good and dead. So let's go ahead and move forward. Get the tank as far forward as we can in this movement. So we want to get him up to where he needs to be to engage the enemy base as quickly as possible. Alright, and let's bring this shock trooper up.
I can do that.
And because I've played this scenario before, I think there's likely to be an enemy over here. Okay, so this is talking about, yeah, how you can crouch in tall grass.
All units, report.
Oh wow, he can see somebody from way up there. That's crazy.
I see an enemy.
Oh man.
Keep an eye out for...
Okay, so that guy surprised me a little bit, but that's okay, because I'm right here point blank on him. So I only have to hit with 11 out of these 20 shots to kill this guy, so hopefully I can do that. Nice. Yeah, I thought I remembered there being a guy in this tall grass, which is why I brought this guy over. But let's go ahead and move him up. But then when we get to the edge of the tall grass, we'll have him go prone, so he's not as vulnerable a target where he is. Okay, so with the remaining command points we have available, I'm thinking we probably want to run our scout. Well, let's not run our scout up. Let's actually run our shock trooper up to the sandbags that are next to the. Oh, actually, there aren't any sandbags up where the tank is now. But I was gonna say let's run our shock trooper up to the sandbags that are there, so that when that enemy does come down from above, they get a nasty little surprise. So let's go ahead and see if we can hit anybody from here. Yeah, no. But we'll be ready for them should they decide to make an appearance. And yeah, let's just move Alicia up as well, just to get her a little closer. Let's see if she can hit or see anybody. Nope. We'll just have her ready to go though. And then let's look at what we want to do with our remaining command points. So it looks like we got a shock trooper on this side. Let's go ahead and look at sniping that guy. Let's see if we can get into a position where we can see that shock trooper with the sniper.
Roger.
And get her into a nice cover position.
Do you still have sufficient ammo?
Oh, darn it. I got a little too close to that. Luckily, I was able to get back over it before I ran out of movement. But you see how that can be kind of annoying. Okay, so it looks like I can see that guy. Let's go ahead and use the right stick to zoom in and target that guy in his face. See if the sniper can do this. Nice.
I'm not done yet.
Just keep up this
Sweet.
pace.
Alright, so let's leave her in that position. It'd be a good spot for her to stay in and cover. And then looks like we've got a scout on the left-hand side. So let's see if our shock trooper can take out that scout.
Just leave it to me.
Okay. So as you can see, these boxes are not cover, which is kind of a bummer. But I can kind of keep
Enemy
moving up
sighted.
here. Oop. So there's two of those enemies. I took a little bit of damage here, but I should be able to pop out and hit them, or at least one of them, and pop back around this corner. So let's see. That's questionable. That guy I only need to hit 6 out of 20. Or I can go for the headshot, which only needs 2 out of 20. So let's go ahead for that. Yeah, nice.
I did it.
So no return fire potential there. Let's pop him back around the corner with that last little bit of move we got. Get him facing the right way so that if that enemy does come around the corner on him, he should be able to vulture him pretty nicely. And I barely took any damage doing that maneuver, so that's pretty cool. So let's see, 2 command points left. Let's just go ahead and set up our remaining guys. Let's set up our scout to cover this side, so if that guy shows up down the alleyway, he'll get pegged ideally. Let's go ahead and try to line up our line of sight optimally. And the other thing I like to do is use... Let's go ahead and move up one of our Lancers.
Just watch this.
Now that it's clear on both sides. And let's just see if I can... Okay, so they have a guy over there, which is cool. Now this guy can't fire back, but at least we know there's a guy there now. And we can kind of hold this corner with this Lancer. And let's go ahead and let the enemy turn play out and see how things go. You're not going to like the result of that. Here comes that other shock trooper into hopefully a hail of bullets. Ah, they didn't quite get close enough, I guess, for the... Oh, here they come. There we go. Nice. Nice auto fire on the tank. Eliminates one of their command points since he was a leader. Which is cool. Okay, so now they're reminding us about issuing orders, which we don't actually need to do at this point in time, but just to show you the menu real quick. So if I pull up the with the Y button, there's this orders section, and basically you can, like this one is just raises one ally's evasion. You know, so if you wanted to give somebody the ability to dodge more fire, you would issue that order. Which actually might not be a bad thing for me to give to that shock trooper if he's going to end up poking his head out there. In fact, let's go ahead and do that just so you can see how it works mechanically. So let's go ahead and select our shock trooper and give him a little bonus.
This is an order. Watch the barrels of their guns.
So now that guy should be harder to hit as a result of that. He's actually healed up completely from the damage that he took last turn, so he should be able to safely move forward and see what's going on up here. Maybe get eyes on some of these targets. So let's see how things look up here.
Enemy sighted.
Okay, so he can see those guys. They don't seem to be able to hit him though because of the corner of the building. But let's go ahead and get try to get eyes on target here. Yeah, he doesn't have line of sight either. Like, we can just physically see that there's somebody there. But let's see if I can move up to the sandbags and actually get proper
Enemy spotted.
Line of sight here. Okay, so there's some wicked bad stuff happening out here, but at least now we've seen the enemies, so we know what their potential is. So all of my shots would have to hit to kill that guy. That's not very desirable. Let's see if I can hit this guy in the melon. Yeah, it seems like he's out of range. That's an obstruction and also a tank, so I'm not going to be able to do anything to that. So this guy is 6 of 20. I can probably take this guy out pretty easily, but then I got to be ready to run and get back to cover before I take too much more damage. Nice. So I got that guy.
I did it.
So let's get out of here before that tank shreds us. Alright. So I took a bit more damage there than I wanted to, but it should be okay. Let me just get around the corner here and kind of set myself up for a more defensive position. Actually, we'll go back here and kind of face out into that alleyway with our remaining action points. Let's just double check our facing on the... Yeah, that facing is good on the map. And it's probably good that I did that evasion. That probably made him take less damage than he would have had I not given him that order. So good times all around. So I'm thinking what I want to do is before well, I'm going to have to move the tank up this turn no matter what. So let's go ahead and move him up as far as we can. And hopefully that'll expose any additional enemies that are up here. And we can use that information to better plan our strategy.
Be ready for their counteroffensive.
I find sometimes it's easier to move with the D-pad because it's a little less finicky than the analog stick can be. And you notice that like getting up this hillside is not exactly speedy. You can get some engine upgrades and stuff for the tank later that makes stuff like this a little easier. But yeah, initially here this is a bit of a struggle with the default tank. Just getting up this hill.
Enemies may be hidden. Be careful.
Okay, so I managed to get up to the top of the hill this turn, or with this action, but I think ideally what I want to do is spend a couple more points and move the tank up a little further this turn and see if I can actually get eyes on a target. There, so he should be able to move a bit more freely now.
Use those sandbags when you can.
Enemy sighted. Hostile sighted.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get ourselves into a good firing position. Let's get our weak side facing away from them and go ahead and pull up our gun. So let's see, we can probably take out that enemy, which is good. Let's see what we got here tank wise though. So we're going to need 3 shots to take out that enemy tank because it doesn't have its weak side facing us. So I think given the options available to us, we probably want to do that so that we're damaging him before he gets to start damaging us. So let's go ahead and do that. And then now knowing that that guy is there, that can inform how we choose to move our other units. So let's go ahead and end our turn. And let's see about bringing... I think Alicia would be a good choice for this guy because she has a grenade. So she could come right up to the corner of that building and toss a grenade where that guy is. Although our shock trooper might also be a good choice, but I don't think she could make it all the way up there in a single movement. So I do think Alicia's going to be the way to go here in terms of actually trying to take that guy out that's near the tank.
My turn, okay?
So let's give that a shot.
Defend the base camp at all costs.
Yeah, those scouts just have so much movement that it's kind of crazy. Alright, so we know there's a guy there. We want to, well, let's see, can we just hit him? Can we reliably kill him at that range with our rifle? It's only 2 hits, and then that would preserve that cover so we could use it ourselves. Let's see if that'll work. Nice.
Man down. Everybody be careful.
So okay, he was the only guy firing at us at that point in time. I am a little bit concerned about leaving her out in the open with that tank still up though, because she's not really going to be very effective against that tank. So until we take it out, I'm probably just going to bring her back around the corner and set her up to take out any infantry that might show up in this alleyway in front of her line of sight. So let's go ahead and leave her there for now. And actually, I'm probably just going to leave these shock troopers where they are for the time being, rather than use points on them, because what I'd really like to do is move this sniper up so that she can take some pot shots at the people out in the courtyard, if possible. So let's kind of get her up and into position.
Y'all still with me, soldiers?
See, it's times like this where I really wish this box was considered cover, because it would be a lot cooler if it was.
Try not to take any needless
But let's see if I can hit anything. Okay, I got line of sight on the guy on the roof, so that's probably what my main target should be. I actually have a lot of potential here, but this shot is the shot I really think I want the sniper to take. And that's going to make life a lot easier for everybody on the ground in the courtyard. So let's go ahead and leave her there. And I think the other thing I want to look at doing, just to be on the safe side, is I do have this one Lancer who's just kind of standing out in the open. So let's go ahead and move him up and get him into cover, just in case anybody shows up here. Just to be safe. So let's see what the enemies decide to do about all that. Alright, so we took a hit from that tank. Unsurprising. So I will confess I'm cheating a little bit because I've played this scenario before, and I know that one of the things that's going to happen here at some point, probably in the next turn or so, is that an enemy tank is actually going to come busting through that wall in front of my base, and that's actually the main reason why I moved that one Lancer up, so that he'll be able to shoot that tank in the back when that does happen. So yeah, like right here, this wall, the tank's going to come busting through it, and this guy should be able to shoot it in the back when that happens. So let's go ahead and see if our sniper can do any more dirty work. Well, actually, let's concentrate on getting that enemy tank down, actually, for the moment.
Entering combat.
So let's see. Yeah, so that tank needs 2 more hits to be taken out. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm thinking it's worth it to spend the 2 command points to just get that tank taken care of. So let's go ahead and do that. Because getting their tank destroyed while mine still has a fair amount of health, totally worth it. So let's go ahead and move up, because they don't have too much left that's going to be able to give me too much trouble. And that also puts me into a position where I can take reaction shots on their infantry and such. And I might as well use the movement points that I do have. Alright, yeah, I think that's a pretty good spot for me to be in. That should allow me to take at least some sort of reaction shot on them as they move about. And then let's see, with my remaining points, let's go ahead and see if Sniper can make anything happen from where she is. Let's see if she has any eyes on targets. So she can see a shock trooper and the engineer. At this point, the shock trooper is probably the more dangerous of the 2. So let's go ahead and see if we can target him. Nice.
I'm not done yet.
Man down. Everybody be careful.
So she can see that engineer too, even from where she is, but I bet if I move her up with her available movement, she can do even better. Oop. I did not realize that that was happening there. Not my best decision making there. Ah, lady. Get there. Okay. Alright. That was not as smooth as I would have liked to have been there. But let's go ahead and see if we can just leave her be. Let's go ahead and bring her back up. Let's see about targeting that guy. Yeah, so she can't actually... Well, she can see the NG from here. Yeah, let's see if she can take that guy out. Yeah, not quite. Alright, so let's see about getting her into a safer position, because with her having taken that much damage, I really don't like the idea of having her on that corner. Let's go ahead and see if we can get her at least over here with Largo. And we'll go ahead and have her just kind of face this way at this doorway. And I think that's pretty much... Well, we could have our tank do some more this turn. Oh, actually, Alicia's in a pretty good position too to help out here. I think I want to try to take that engineer out with the tank, though. Just to... Yeah, I almost kind of want to save these action points, honestly, because I want to let this turn play out and let this tank come through the wall, and then I'll deal with that next turn. Yeah, so here's that event.
Gah! Damn tank's busted right through the stinking wall. Well, it's my turn now. Stick this in your pipe and smoke it.
Nice.
Stay sharp. Tanks can break through crumbling walls and trample down sandbags and trees.
I can't feel.
Okay, so she actually got taken out by the tank, which is unfortunate, but that'll give us an opportunity to show off how the medic works. So basically, all you have to do is get one of your other healthy units in proximity to the unit that's down, and then that basically lets them call for the medic and rescue them. And you just have to do that within 3 turns or before an enemy touches them, and then you're in good shape. You know, that unit will be saved and be available for the next battle. So we should be in good shape here. I just need to hurry up and use him to grab her, and then go shoot that tank for payback.
Just watch this. Medic!
So because he was standing right next to her, he just immediately got to call for the medic. But normally you just need to move up into close proximity to the unit you're trying to rescue, and then that automatically triggers that medic animation. And let's get him out of the way there.
Try to stay out of their range.
And let him light this tank up with his handy dandy rocket launcher.
What is that tank?
Okay, so that thing, I just want to get a nice shot lined up here so there's no chance of missing if I can help it. So let's go ahead and line this up right on his weak spot, and that should be a one-shot kill, assuming that this hits. Yeah, nice. So that takes out their extra command point, and all we need to do now is just get him out of the way so that if any of those shock troopers on that enemy flag get any ideas, they don't get to shoot him in the back. Alright. That takes care of that. And now I should have actually enough command points left that if I can take their guys out with the tank, I might actually be able to get Alicia to just make a run for their flag. But we'll see if I can actually pull that off. So surprised that
Entering combat.
our tank didn't get any reaction shots against them, but I guess they never moved was the reason why. Let's see. That's 2 to kill with that weapon. I mean, the mortar will probably screw them up pretty badly, but I think there's just enough space between those 2 shock troopers that 1 mortar isn't going to be enough to actually kill either of them. Or, I'm sorry, to kill both of them is what I meant to say. So let me see what I can do with this machine gun. So 4 out of 7 machine gun shots would need to hit, or 2 out of 7 for the headshot. Let's see if I can take this guy out. Nice. And then let's go ahead and move the tank up and try to secure
Squad 7.
the
battlefield. Good luck.
let's try to secure the area around their flag at the very least.
Try not to let your guard down.
Now, one thing you can do with the tank is you actually can run into enemy players, but the thing is, it doesn't actually kill them. Like, I can't actually kill this guy by running him over. I can only hit into him. So you can see he got moved by me hitting him, but that didn't actually kill him.
Capture the Imperial camp as quickly as possible.
So I'm going to have to take another turn with the tank here because I can't leave this guy in a position where he could get to my weak spot easily. So I'll just have to spend a couple more command points
Entering combat.
to actually be able to back the tank up and take a shot at him. Actually, I might be able to just shoot him without even moving. Yeah, so I can't quite aim down far enough to shoot him. Let's see if I can do it with the machine gun. Yeah, I can't quite aim down far enough. He's too close to the tank. So I am actually going to have to back up, if only so I can get a clean shot at him. Okay, so let's try that. So, let's see. 2 out of 7. Bam!
Target silenced. Head for the next one.
Okay, so let's go ahead and move up, and then we'll use 2 more points to take this guy out, and then we should just be able to have Alicia run up and claim that flag with her turn. So that should be a good enough. Now let's go ahead and get a little closer. There we go. So we got a bunch of command points left, so we can just go ahead and keep using the tank. So let's go ahead and check this guy out. 1. That takes him out.
Target silenced. Head for the next
And then we just need to make sure there's enough room for her to get in there. Shouldn't be a problem. And actually, there's only 1 enemy unit left. I think actually if we kill that enemy unit, we might win by default. But I kind of want to show the capturing of the base mechanic. So let me just go ahead and grab her. And let's run her over to the base real quick.
The Great Bassel Bridge is up ahead.
So basically, when you get in close proximity to the enemy flag, you see you get this occupy option off the A button. So you just go ahead and hit that, and then you take over the enemy base and turn it to your flag. Yeah, so we didn't even have to kill that last guy, because we completed the objective, and that actually completes the mission.
Operation complete. We took their base.
And that's basically how a lot of the missions end up playing out, is like you don't necessarily have to clear the board of everything. Like there are certain circumstances where the mission objective is kill all enemies, but a lot of times you just have to look at what the game is actually telling you the objective of the mission is, and as soon as you complete that, the scenario just ends, even if you haven't necessarily killed all the enemies in the area. Yeah, if I hadn't gotten my sniper wounded, I probably would have gotten a B or better there, but mistakes were made. Okay, so I guess let's just let these last couple of cutscenes play out and finish this chapter, and then I'm gonna kind of wrap up the stream there, I think. Uh, and see how that goes. But I think that mission is an especially good example of what the mission gameplay of the game is like. So, um, that should give you a good sense of whether or not this is something that you'd be interested in playing, I think. And that's really kind of what I wanted to do here. I mean, typically I don't stream games that are really heavily story focused like this one is, but this game is so long, honestly, that even showing as much of it as I have, you've really only seen like the very, very beginning, like scratching the surface of what the game has to offer content-wise. So I don't really feel bad about showing all these cutscenes and stuff, because really this is just the very, very beginning of the game, and just getting to a point where you have all of their options unlocked and available to you. So there's tons more game to be experienced here. So again, I don't feel too bad about showing it on the stream, but let's just mellow out and unwind, watch a couple cutscenes, and then I think we'll call that done.
Hey there! You guys aren't with Squad 7 by any chance, are ya?
Yes, that's us.
Bingo! I've been looking for you. Meaning you, hot stuff, on the tank.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me,
That must make you Lieutenant Gunther, am I right?
Yeah. Yes, that's me.
Upsy daisy.
What? Hey, you can't...
Ah, nice to meet you too. Now, let's get right to the questions. So, you're the son of the great General Gunther, huh? You look awfully young. How old are you anyway? Must be your first war, huh? What's been the hardest experience so far? Wait, happiest. Funniest. I'd also like to know hobbies, favorite foods, what you do on your days
Hey,
off.
lady! This is a combat zone. Excuse me, but what are you doing here anyway?
Hey, give me a break, will ya? Scoops are near danger, and I'm near scoops. That's right. The name's Ellet. I'm GBS Radio's top woman reporter. I smell a story, a good story, and you guys are it.
So, you're a reporter?
Very good, I'm a reporter, yes. I've been assigned to Squad 7 to conduct a series of interviews, thank you. Now, let's get back to those questions, shall we?
Alicia is not impressed.
Now he's giving interviews? Who does he think he is? Ooh, look at him. Son of some big hero. Please. He's still a schoolboy.
No kidding. One little win and he's the new Grand Duke. I hate kids. Whatever. He'll learn soon enough.
Whatever, Wolverine.
Only one thing matters out there in the field, and that's experience.
Chapter 4. Operation Cloudburst.
So as you can see, that sets up a little of the inter-squad drama, where like the two guys that you inherited with your squad are a little bit perturbed by the fact that you're like this up-and-coming general's son who's, been thrust into command above them, being veteran soldiers such as they are. So that like sets up a little bit of like the initial kind of side stories drama of the game, and kind of like some of the little story threads and interpersonal relationships that you kind of build up from as the game progresses. There's also like some kind of, for lack of a better term, like interracial drama between those two and Ys, because they don't take kindly to her being different than everyone else. You know, the dark hairs are kind of like a motif or a reference to like a different race of uh, people, you know, in the game. And so like there's this weird like arbitrary distinction where like, you know, anybody with dark hair is considered like an outcast or shunned by all these other people, which is kind of weird. But yeah, I don't want to give too much away about how that plays out, but needless to say, they like plant some seeds early on in the story that, even not having finished the game myself, I can tell you like in the mid game that I reached when I originally played it on PS3, some of that stuff plays out and pans out in some pretty interesting ways. So even if you find some of the setups that they do in the early game a little like rote or uninteresting, I think, you know, if you stick with it and like let some of those plot threads play out, you might find them to be kind of compelling, because they kind of take some things and twist them a little bit in ways that you might not expect, which is kind of neat. But again, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this stream. I think that should do a pretty good job of showing you like the fundamental gameplay mechanics of Valkyria Chronicles and kind of how it hybridizes the turn-based and real-time strategy stuff that you might be used to from other more traditional games in a way that's pretty interesting and unique, albeit sometimes a bit frustrating. And you know, like I said before, I think if you can approach this game taking it on its own merits and not necessarily looking at it in terms of comparing it to other games you may have played, then you're probably going to be likely to have a lot more fun and enjoyment playing it than you otherwise might. Um, but as I said before, just watch out for some of those quirks and some of those inconsistent behaviors, you know, such as enemies being able to continuously fire at you when your characters can't do the same to them. Like, just be aware of issues like that, and just know that you'll have to work around those to really be able to progress in and enjoy the game. But having said all that, I'm going to wrap things up. Hope you guys have enjoyed the stream, and I will talk to you next time. Until then, Valkyria Chronicles.